tap in going real quick. Let's get this late night tap in cracking as we get down. Let me start recording. I mean, what's up, man? You know, it's late, but I'm here. It is late, but I'm still tapping in with everybody. How y'all doing, man? Hope everybody's having a great week so far. The middle of the week popping off. But this week, man, this week feels like it's longer than what it is. It's only Tuesday. Well, I feel like a Thursday right now. Well, this week is just started and it feels like the end of the week. But what's up, man? How y'all doing? I'm just checking in, tapping in with the family, seeing how you guys are doing. We'll get some calls in a minute. What's up, King? What's up, Ani? What's up, Queen's Girl? What's up, Nikki the God? Shout out to everybody in here. We are making it do what it do. Don't forget the movie Microphone Check will be back in theaters in a couple of weeks, so you guys stay tuned for that. We're going to have the advance tickets on sale so people can start getting their tickets that whole week all across the country. We need everybody to go see Microphone Check when it hits the theaters again. Pack those theaters out, ladies and gentlemen. Even if you have the Blu-ray, go see it with a crowd in the theaters. It's very important to get those numbers up to show what the grassroots can do and to show and to flex our grassroots power. I'm very proud of everybody who got involved with this film. So I keep everybody posted when the ticket sales go back up for Microphone Check. And it will be on microphonecheck.com. Microphonecheck.com. So we're waiting on everybody to get in the room. Everybody pile on in. Some of the new people, if you're new, you guys give me a follow. If you are new here, you're popping on in the room, give me a cool follow, ladies and gentlemen. A few things we got to touch on before we get calls. Family, did y'all see the story? And shout out to my sister Nikki the God. She posted this story early on. It was a black kid in Georgia. Now this happened about a month or so ago, but the family's still trying to get justice. The black kid went off with his white buddies and ended up drowning somewhere. He went somewhere with his white friends, a little black kid, and didn't come home. The parents got worried, found out this kid was with his white buddies and drowned. Family, black folks, black people, black people, black people. Family, let me talk to the black people in here. When did y'all start doing this? Letting your kids just go off with the little white friends? When did this start happening? I'm old school as hell. Do y'all remember when that was a no-no? Let's keep it a bean. Man, when I was growing up, back in the day in FBA society, that was a no-no. And for good reason. That was just a no-no. Look, I remember as a kid, I had a white friend at school. I was in like the 5th grade, something like that. Maxwell, big fat white boy, but he was cool as hell. That was my buddy. Maxwell, real smart buddy, real witty guy. That was the homie. And that was like one of my best friends at school. You know, we chopped it up all the time, and um, we correspond on the phone. And then he was like, "Hey man, why don't you come? Ask your mom, can you come spend the night at our crib, at our house?" And I asked my mom, "Hey mom, can my buddy Maxwell, the little white homie, they want to know if I can go spend the night over there." She's like, "Hell no." Like, why? That's the homie. He's real cool. Just no. You'll understand when you get older. So I remember she was adamant about not that, because I got black buddies. I had black buddies. We stay at their house all the time. So it kind of back then it kind of threw me off, because yeah, the little homies, we stayed at the house all the time. But she was like, no, absolutely not. Hell to the damn no, no. And our parents and grandparents at that time, they didn't let us stay at our white friends' homes. They just didn't. That was kind of an unspoken rule. Like, yeah, you don't really be up in their house posted like that. And even black people, let's be real, black people who were domestics, A lot of our grandparents worked as domestics. That was another thing where black people didn't like eating at white people's homes. That was a thing. They didn't like, unless they were making the food, but they didn't. There's a thing about black folks not going to white people's houses and eating their food. That's why, and even to this day, at your job, when you're black people, where you at? How many of y'all got a lot of white coworkers, and then they bring stuff from home? They bring you little dishes that they made. Hi, Shaquisha. I made a delicious casserole. You should try it. It's for the whole office. Y'all know good and well y'all don't be eating that shit. Y'all sit up there and y'all smile, but y'all know good and well when they turn their backs, y'all run right to the dumpster. Y'all know not. Y'all don't touch none of it to this day. You know you don't. When they bring that stuff to work, oh, thanks, Karen. I just ate. I just had lunch, but I'm gonna tear this up when I leave. I sure am. Mm-mm. Well, your ass leave from work and drive right to a dumpster and alley hoop that shit into the garbage can. You know good and well y'all don't eat that stuff. Yeah. So what these cases I'm seeing where black folks are going to white people's houses and you end up missing, you drown, something weird happens, you go on a hunting trip with them and you don't come back. What the hell is going on? Well, who's raising these? I'm confused. Are y'all tethers? What's going on? Who's raising these people who don't know the rules? Listen, where I live, it's kind of racially mixed, and my sons, they have white buddies and Hispanic buddies, and my sons be like, "Hey, can I go to such and such house to do a sleepover?" Hell no. Why? You'll understand when you get older. And I explain to them now. I don't even wait till they get older. I explain to them now. Hey, man, I don't trust them. But they're good. They're this and they're that. I don't trust them. No, no, no. I don't trust none of them. I don't, man. Black folks, there's an unwritten rule. Man, you go up in a white person's house, they can literally legally do anything they want to do to you. You have no legal recourse for justice when you get around them inside their homes. They can legally damn near do anything to you, black people. I really want y'all to get that in your head. You got to be careful. This is a very real thing. Don't let people fool you into this racial equality. No, man, the people in the dominant society, they got unwritten protections. There's a common law of white supremacy. And one of the rules is if a black person is in their house, they can do whatever and most likely won't get punished. It has to be so egregious in order for them to get punished, like Jeffrey Dahmer. Look how long it took Jeffrey Dahmer to get brought to justice. It had to be just body parts piled up to the ceiling in this man's house for them to say, okay, yeah, we might need to arrest this guy. Because people, remember, Jeffrey Dahmer, people had been telling on him for years. The black people were telling the police, hey man, this dude is weird. Something is off. Something's going on in his apartment. They'd called the police on that man dozens of times. They didn't do anything. In one situation, there were some black girls in the neighborhood. They actually rescued one of the damn victims. The cop came along and gave the victim back to Jeffrey Dahmer. You understand what I'm saying? When you are in these folks' homes, there's an unwritten rule that they're allowed to do whatever to you. Family, there's a case in West Virginia. Did y'all hear about this case where this white couple adopted these black kids and they're like got the black kids living as slaves? The white couple just got arrested. They had black kids living in a barn during doing like field work. They had them like literally enslaved, like in the 1800s. They were on that. This was in West Virginia, right? It was a Virginia or West Virginia. Man, these folks are sick, dude. We got to understand what we're dealing with out here. We really got to understand what we're dealing with. Yeah. and letting your kids go off with their little old buddies who's non-black, man. What are y'all on? When did y'all start doing that? Because I'm telling you, that was a no-no when we were growing up. Big time. So yeah, we got to stop being on this naive kumbaya thing. It's very real out here. Just because these white supremacists are in denial, just like the sister who was the FedEx driver the other day. We posted that story about this sister talking about certain towns in Wisconsin and Illinois where they feel a certain way about black people coming into those towns, and as a FedEx worker she has issues there. And she's saying that, hey, some of these places, some of these little towns, they don't really allow black people in there. So she felt a certain way about that. And then there were a bunch of white supremacists in the comment section. Oh no, that's fake news. Oh God, that's not true. Oh, that's cap. There's black neighborhoods that I can't go to. So what about that? What about the black neighborhoods? Let me say this. That's a damn lie. White people can go to any neighborhood, black neighborhood and all. There's not one black neighborhood that white people are not safe in. White people are safe everywhere. Don't get it twisted. White people are safe everywhere they go. White people stay in the hood. They be in the hood all the time. All right. You name a hood, there's gonna be some white people in there. White people are the landlords. Yeah, some of they run some of the businesses, and on the underground tip, they be in there tricking off and buying drugs and all. They always go to the little red light district. Don't let them fool you. White people stay up in the damn hood. All right. There's no neighborhood where they can't go. Also, we got to understand these sundown towns. Um, these unwritten rules are reinforced by law enforcement in these sundown towns. That's what makes it so egregious. It's not just the regular citizens, it's the regular citizens with anti black antagonism, and they're backed up by law enforcement. You understand? Because a lot of these sundown towns where black people would get hemmed up, it was the police helping with it. You understand? In many lynchings, it was the police helping the vigilante citizens. You don't have a black version of that. There's no neighborhood where black people are working with the police against white people. Zero communities like that. None. Nowhere. Don't ever let them try to make some kind of um, equal oppression game by talking about some low income neighborhood that might be somewhat dangerous, but it's not dangerous to them. It's dangerous to people who engage themselves in street activity. But yeah, we got sundown towns out here, and it's very, very real. We're going to get calls in a minute. Y'all hold tight, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get calls in a minute. Did y'all hear about Denver? Denver was giving out, and a couple of cities were doing this. They were giving out money to like homeless people. And I think in Denver, they were giving out like $1,000 to some of the homeless people there. They had some kind of program. And what happened was this kind of helped, it helped the city save money because a lot of the people kind of got up and used that money to get themselves together. So a lot of them got off the streets. A lot of them got it together to get gainful employment. A lot of them were not exhausting the resources at the shelters and the mental institutions and places like that, because that cost a lot of money maintaining them damn shelters. So that little $1,000 that they were giving people, that low key kind of boosted the economy because it got people up out of a rut. So this is why the reparations thing is a great idea. The reparations thing, man, when we get our reparations, that's going to boost the economy. That's going to be so phenomenal for the economy. The only problem people really have with it, just the um, psychological defeat they're going to feel that we actually pushed and got something done and implemented, and we got a leg up, which is what we're supposed to get. So it's more of a psychological thing. It's not going to harm the economy whatsoever. Us getting reparations is going to be the greatest thing for the economy. That's going to boost the economy. That's going to limit a lot of exhaustive resources to some of these what I call abused institutions, because you have a lot of institutions out here that's maintained to systematically abuse us. So a lot of these drug treatment centers, we can dry those up because we won't have so many folks strung out because of depression. Some of these homeless shelters, some of the city and the state funds won't be exhausted maintaining those. These prisons, you understand, we can kind of cut back on the resources going into those for-profit prisons. Some of these janky little predatory pawn shops and payday loan institutions that are um, very detrimental to us and exploitive to us. We can dry some of that up because that doesn't help us. That's to capitalize off of our being down bad to a certain degree. So us getting reparations will definitely boost the economy. So we really, really gotta stay focused on that. All right, let me get we got a lot of folks in here. Malcolm the mayor in the building. Malcolm the mayor. What you got,
Yo,
brother?
Rick, can you hear me? Can you hear
I
me?
can hear you, brother. I can hear you. What's going on?
Yo, man, salute, bro. You know I'm a day one. You
Yes,
already
you are.
know, man.
All day, all day. Where
I'm a,
you? What
I'm a
city
good.
you in? Are you still in Atlanta?
Yeah. You know, I live in Atlanta, but I'm part time out the country too, man. You know, we already spoke about the foreign, the foreign and domestic play, man. You get the foreign money and you get the domestic money, man.
Were
We
you
gotta
down in
start.
Costa Rica? Weren't you down in Costa Rica somewhere?
Man, you keep saying that, man.
Where was that? I
I mean,
forgot, bro. I forgot.
for for some reason, Costa Rica keep pop. You must love Costa Rica. Nah, I'm in Colombia. I'm in
Okay,
Cartagena,
I knew there.
Colombia.
It's close. It's there. I knew it was in South
Yeah,
America. And it
nah,
started
it's
with a
close.
C. Right. Okay. There you
Yeah,
go.
nah, definitely, man. Listen to all my FBAs, man. But this is before I speak what I came up here for. I just wanted to drop this on my FBA people. Listen, man, them people fleeing and coming to our land, getting money. Let's go to their land and get money too. I'm traveling and I brought a couple properties, man, and I'm out here getting this Airbnb money. Let's get this money. Don't get it twisted. The dollar, pesos, pound is all currency, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All
Oh
right.
yeah.
Let me just say this, Reek. Listen, man, we didn't need no help. FBAs, to all my FBA people, we didn't need no help making rock and roll. We didn't need no help creating house music. We didn't create no help. We didn't need no help creating country. What the hell do we need help for creating hip hop, man? Come on,
Right.
man. Come on,
Right.
y'all.
Right.
It's common sense, man. It's common sense. We created it. We did it. Them folks was there. Like I said, they was across the street looking around. They seen, they wanted to be down. They helped. They helped. I'm not gonna say they wasn't there. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I'm not saying they wasn't there, but you didn't create it, bro.
Right.
Please, Dr. Cologne or whatever your name is, stop.
Oh
Stop.
yeah.
I land my plane, man.
My man, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. But yeah, man, that's why y'all gotta really support microphone check, man. Keep this truth out here. Yeah, the anti FBA tethers are real mad and salty because this movie has taken off and it's telling the truth. Renee,
Yeah, hi.
hello, Renee. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you for having me in this space and giving me an opportunity to speak.
Absolutely. So, what's on your mind, Renee?
Well, my name is Renee. It's actually Melissa Renee Frobis, but I go by my middle name Renee.
Okay.
And I saw your space, and I had an idea this evening that was so urgently important that I just had to get online and share it.
Okay.
Um, So I recently decided that after seeing the trends and everything that's happened historically and currently, that I was going to run for president. I have interethnic children, so I have experienced racism in my life as a result of having mulatto children. And I'm familiar with the reparations discussion. And it's ironic that you were literally just mentioning this as I was coming on. because I'm initiating a campaign that is called CREED, and that stands for Crime, Reparations, Education, Economy, and Democracy.
Okay.
And the basis of my campaign is to, so we in America, we've learned that we're free. We're told that we're free. But our government was created during the height of antebellum slavery. It's literally not designed for freedom. It was designed by slave owners who were intent on controlling the economy and the people of the country. And that entitlement attitude has continued in the government ever since. If you look closely at politics, you'll see that gaining entrance to politics costs money. Like, for instance, I live in California, and when I found out that Senator Feinstein died, I decided that I was going to run it to fill her position. And that's how I discovered that in order to register as a candidate, you had to pay 2% of the first year's salary, which was for about $4,000. So, and it's like that in a lot of states where you have to pay to gain entrance to even be a candidate.
Okay.
So, that now CREED, it's the basis of CREED is going to completely reset the global, well, the American economy at the very least. So this is the thing. The only reason why politicians get away with, and capitalists, corporate owners, the only reason why they get away with the things they get away with is because we let them. We are 333 million people strong, and the corporations, they are such a small percentage of the population, and yet they control us. They hold us in economic slavery so that the majority of people are unable to have financial stability. They don't enjoy their lives. They don't have enough time, money, and resources to be able to have leisure and to enjoy their leisure. So what I propose is I'm going to need the backing of the people, obviously. But my brilliant idea this evening was that if we were to, the only way we're going to achieve equality is if we have a complete economic reset. And what that means is that we have to completely reset everything so that there's no debt, there's no assets, there's no profits. So we have to make it so that the owner of Walmart has zero assets, and the lowliest of low of like, and everybody in between
Okay.
has
Hold
zero
on. Okay.
dollars.
Let's slow it down. Let's slow it down. So where does the reparations come in with this? With the
Uh,
creed? Go ahead.
okay, so I have a different idea of, so the current ideas of reparations is recompense or restitution for past atrocities that have occurred against.
Right.
Right. So, and honestly, that's not a horrible idea, but it's not the best idea either, because history shows that people who get large sums of money, and y'all, please don't lose me on this point, because I know a lot of people are probably like, what?
Go ahead. Go ahead and say it. Go ahead.
Right. So, it, like, for instance, people who win the lottery, most of them end up pissing off their money and have nothing to show for it at the end of it.
Go ahead.
Okay, so and a lot of, honestly, a lot of people, I was actually just looking at the numbers yesterday. Black people make up 14% of the population, but they account for 20% of the entire impoverished population. So they're represented disparately in the poverty market, I guess I'll call it, niche. So that means that the few Black people that do have assets have an outrageous amount of assets, so that the rest of the, like, the majority, like 90% of Black people live in poverty. And that's crazy. And the only way that we're going to fix that is if we completely equalize the tables and we give everyone the same opportunity. So my idea of reparations is opportunity. Right now, it's proven that in communities of color, the education system is not as good as in more affluent areas. And it's an absolute fact that in communities of color, there's a lower rate of secondary education. There is a significantly lower rate of employment, not employment, but skilled employment. So people with degrees, people that are well educated. There's a very, very few Black and brown people that are well educated and have opportunities to get good jobs. And so my idea of reparations is if we make it education accessible and create employment opportunities, then but we have to restore the respect of the community. So as part of my economic reset idea, we're going to do a complete reset in America where everyone has $0, and from there everyone will receive I'm calling it a safe entitlement, and that stands for subsidy and family entitlement, so that everyone has a basic income to be able to afford a basic standard of living. And from there, if we make education free so that everyone everywhere can get access to education, there will be no student loans involved, there will be no debt owed, and everyone will have an equal.
Slow down. So you're talking about almost like a socialism, like a socialist society. Just remove capitalism?
Kind of. So my idea, we have, I forget about your ideas of economy and how everything works for just a second. All right. If we have, if we convert corporations from corporations into public trust companies, so that companies like Walmart, they can't independently set a profit price margin. So they won't be able to set a price on something. Yes.
Okay, let's scratch all of that. Let's scratch all of that, because that's that. Just give us our checks.
Okay.
Let's just give foundational Black Americans their checks. That's all you got to do. What you're saying is so impractical. It's all around the world. You got to do a whole it's too much. It's too much. It is. When it comes to foundational Black Americans getting what we're just owed, what we're due, all of a sudden we get these crazy, far-fetched ideas where we got to just scrap the whole economy and start over and liquidate all of the public and the private sectors and make them. No, just give us our checks. That'll be simpler.
What about equality? How are we ever going to achieve equality if equality never existed? The only way that
equality existed for people in the dominant white society. And they got more than equality. They got preferential treatment based on race. We were forced with inequality.
I know.
So what about correcting the inequality? Okay.
So I hear what you're saying. The inequality that exists is an economic position. So when the government was established, they abolished slavery. The 13th Amendment abolishes slavery except for the punishment of a crime, which institutionalized the jail and prison system. From there, they created
Black people. Targeted Black people. Let's be very clear. All of these institutions were revolving around attacking and abusing,
regaining slaves. The entire institution revolved around regaining slaves. And so that's why after that point, they created an economy and laws that focused on keeping financial oppression on people of color. But it ended up
No, let's stop that. It wasn't people of color. It was Black people. When they had, let's stop that. Because when they had up them signs, it wasn't people of color. Like, niggas ain't allowed to get. What the hell?
What?
Damn, brother. Sorry about that. Guy with all these weird sound effects. So it wasn't when we were going through Jim Crow. Jim Crow was all about anti-Black racism. Black people were being targeted. It wasn't the people of color side of town. It was the Black side of town. Coloreds only. Blacks only. Whites only. Black people are not allowed in those housing contracts, it was black people they were targeting. Hey, black people, no Negroes. So it
Right.
wasn't people of color. It was a very specifically targeted racism directed at us. So it has to be specifically rectified, ma'am, right?
Okay, I understand and I hear what you're saying. And what I'm proposing is going to it's going to reduce the level of entitled white people so that if we equalize everything so that nobody has anything more or less than anybody else, then that is an absolute equality starting point. And
No,
from
no. That you're talking about one of these again. It's a all lives, all lift all program. It's a lift all. You elevate everybody, and that's going to include black people. No, not going to do that.
why
Affirmative
wouldn't that?
action. Affirmative action was a lift all program, and we ended up getting the short end of the stick on that.
Okay, well, like I told you, you remember me mentioning I have interethnic children. My children
Right.
are half black. I
Mm-hmm.
they're growing up in a society that is still oppressed by racism, and
Uh-huh.
I find that completely unacceptable. So I would not ever consider a program or a line of action that would have my own children be targets.
They're
My
already targeted. If they're non-white, you're already targeted in the
I
system.
I'm well aware of this, and I am experiencing it right now.
Now, the
I'm
father, now hold on, the father of your children, where is he from?
Atlanta, Georgia. Well,
Um,
Columbus.
Columbus, Georgia.
Yes, sir.
Got two kids?
Yes, sir.
Were you and the guy married before?
No.
Okay. Is he a foreigner? Is he a foundational Black American? Where is he from? I know you say he's in Georgia.
He's from well he was born in America, Columbus, Georgia. So I'm
His family. Where is his family from?
you mean like his ancestors?
Right.
I don't know that. I do not have that answer.
Okay. Did he have any immigrants in his family? Did you know of? Or what?
Uh no, he's not like a dark skinned black man, so he has some white back in his ancestry somewhere because he's
Okay.
like a caramel color a caramel complected man.
Like a little Lenny Kravitz type of thing going on.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm just trying to see if he's a descendant of slaves, descendant of freedmen, a foundational Black American, if his lineage goes back to slavery and
Honestly,
there.
in anybody in America who's black is a target. Honestly, it doesn't matter
We
if you're a foundational black American or a descendant of slaves or not, because you are still equally liable to be targeted.
we understand that, but we're talking about compensation for slavery, and
I,
the only people qualified for that are foundational Black Americans. That's why I was trying to see
okay,
if your
I understand.
daughters. I was
So
trying to see if your daughters were qualified for reparations.
I I have a
That's
son
why.
and a daughter.
Son
Um,
and a daughter. Okay, got it.
Yes, sir. So what's your view on reparations for Africa though? Because Africa is still they in fact Africans are suffering so much more greatly than even the poorest of poor black people here
Mm-hmm.
in
Uh huh.
America.
Uh huh.
And because I personally I communicate with Africans on a regular basis because as part of my creed is if I'm able to attain the office of president, I'm planning on sending aid over to Africa, not money specifically, but I'm planning on sending tools and resources for agriculture, livestock, and people who want to volunteer. And I'm planning on demilitarizing the United States and converting our military establishment to a builder society so that people who choose to enlist, so to speak, they will be joining to go overseas to participate in building, in nation building.
Lord
And
bless our heart, bless your heart, man. You don't, ma'am.
I know
Bless.
it's a tall order. I know that
Ooh,
what
you
I'm
don't.
suggesting is a tall order, but
Well,
this
they
is the
don't know.
thing. In the interest of having a sustainable, free world where everybody has the things that there are people in India and Africa right now that are dying from starvation and
Uh
from
huh.
lack of clothes, that they are literally walking barefoot 2 miles just to get water. I
Right.
find that unacceptable.
Well, let me
And
say
here we are
this.
in America.
Hold on.
Here we are in America. We've got every modern convenience and contrivance that is the result of slave and military labor. If it wasn't for the slaves and for the military members, modern technology would not exist.
Okay, now
If it
hold
wasn't
on.
for
Hold, slow down, sweetie.
the
Slow down.
Industrial Revolution
Slow
occurred
down,
because of
Renee,
slavery.
Hey, slow down. I got it. Here's the thing. It's like, what about reparations for Africa? Do you know Africa, some of them, when we get our reparations from the US government, we're gonna have a little talk with some of the African tribes over there because they owe us too. You
How do
understand?
African tribes? Oh, you're saying because of the
Some of them,
historical, the enslavement, the brother on brother.
some of them were selling
Oh yeah,
us.
yeah.
We
Okay.
got that ain't been rectified. We're gonna have to rectify that with some of them over there because some of those tribes they kind of brag about how they were slave traders too. So we gonna holler at them a little later. We ain't tripping on them now. And as far as the Indians, they can hold their own nuts because those Indians come over here, they're dirt poor, and then they send Vivek Ramaswamy and they send what's his name? Um, what is his name? The Republican guy. What is family? What's his name? Nikki. Hold on, let me get my sister Nikki in here. Why am I brain for it? I'm Nikki. Who am I talking about? What's his name? The other Indian tether who hates on us. Nikki. What's his name?
I don't even know his name. I came up to ask her a question.
Okay, okay, I gotta think of this guy's name. What's that? What's the guy's name? The Indian tether who went to jail and he's always denigrating. Why am I? God, I can't think of his name right now. Yo,
Is it Dinesh D'Souza? Is
Dinesh
it?
the damn Souza. Why didn't I? Yes, Dinesh D'Souza. Yes. Oh, he's one of they come over here from the slums of India, denigrating foundational Black Americans, doing everything they can to undermine us. They can hold
And
their own nuts. Nikki, go ahead and answer a question, dear.
Okay, my question for you is, if you are so much more concerned for the people, for immigrants in other countries, why don't you go run for office in an African country or an Indian country? Because over
oh,
here, we're trying to get foundational Black Americans our reparations. So why don't you run for office abroad?
all right. Well, because like I said, my children are they're black. They're half black. They're here in America, and I was raised in America. I served in the military in America. I was homeless in America. I've experienced police brutality in America. I've experienced every hardship that America has to offer, and I'll be a good goddamn cooked goose if I let them get away with it. With what they did to me and my children, I will be a cooked goose if I let them do that. So I'm not disputing that there is a debt owed. I'm simply suggesting that there is a more sound way to go about it than just issuing out lump sums of money. There's
That
more
would be
to it. There's
why
more to
they do that
equal.
for other groups. Why if it's good for other groups, why wouldn't it be good for us?
Are you talking about the Native Americans?
Absolutely, yes. Hmm.
Okay. Well, you do realize that if 1,000 people, there were only 8% of natives left by the time the Trail of Tears was done. So if you
Hmm.
stood up 1,000 people, 80 of them were left. 80.
And we're just 14% of the population, so we're 43 million. So they can do the same thing with us. They can do, and that's going to stimulate the economy. They can do the same thing and distribute the funds the exact same way they do with some of the red Native American tribes.
What I'm suggesting too, though, is it's going to equalize everyone. And so giving out lump sum payments isn't going to fix the underlying problem of
Yes, it
racism
is.
and disparity.
We're not trying to fix racism. We're trying to get a debt that's owed, pay people that it's owed to. This is for slavery. It's not to fix racism.
Right. And so don't get too defensive on this point, but I'm going to ask you a question right now.
Right.
Um in it's been several generations since slavery has ended, and
Hmm.
honestly, like I said, like I mentioned, black people in America enjoy a better even the poorest black person in America enjoys a better quality of life than the tribes of Africa from where slaves originated.
And
And so if it honestly, if we enjoy a pretty good standard of living, and if it's necessary, so we have to
Ma'am,
fix
hold
the
on. Okay,
big social
hold
problem.
on. Slow down. Our debt that's owed to us is not contingent upon how bad other black people are doing globally. All right, that's not going to be the bar. Y'all not going to hold them up and say, "Hey, look, they got flies on them. They're starving. Just be happy you're not them." No, that don't work. We got higher standards. Our
Okay.
standards are very high, and we're owed something. So you're not going to point to somebody else who's down
I
bad, like, "Hey, you can be." No, no, no. That it don't work like that. We're owed
so
something, and
I
we have a
and
and we live good because we've created a comfort zone for us to live good as foundational Black Americans. This wasn't something that was given to us. We
I
cre-
know, but
right,
black people had to struggle tremendously to gain status.
right, and still do.
I'm very well aware of this. I've like I said, I've transitioned the lower and middle classes because of the government, what the government did to me. I've been a victim of a federated racism program that caused me to suffer significant loss. My children were taken from me for no legal basis. I have been targeted by the government because simply for the fact that I have mulatto children.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ray, hop on real quick and chime in.
How you doing, Tariq? How you doing?
I'm good, beloved. How are you? What do you think
Oh,
about?
I'm blessed amongst all this hot Caucasity mess. How are you doing, uh, Renee?
I'm well, thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna get down to it, Renee. We're not messing with you. Okay,
Okay.
the last time we listened to a white woman, it led to feminist movement where y'all benefited the most. Okay, okay? And our
Mm-hmm.
homes were broken up. We're not doing that again. We're not African, okay? The forefathers of this country bred us, and then we were mixed. Some of us have some other DNA, some have a little bit of admixture. The Africans argue with us all the time. They're rude, they're ignorant. If you look at the long line of y'all, again, dumping them, you know, in our communities, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'll see the depletion of New York when we would say, well, why is black people, before we knew who these people were in other cities, because we all didn't have that problem. Well, why? What is in the water in Florida? What's in the water up there in New York? Now look at DC is going down. Look at California, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So no, them are not our people. We've decided to delineate from everybody,
Mm-hmm.
including you, because you go in under minority, and you don't want. I'm gonna just tell you this: you're not gonna like it, whether subconsciously or consciously. You have a problem, even when you have a black, whatever nationality he is, husband, boyfriend, you don't want to give up that white woman privilege because we also know that white women raise these men that have shot up schools, killed people,
I don't
and,
support that
and
at
are
all.
refusing or fighting us. Now, excuse me, I didn't interrupt you.
Okay.
Okay, we're not going to do that. Okay. Uh, so the audacity of you to come in here like everybody else, including everybody you name, the Jew, the white racists, the white one that don't want to give up their little supremacy. Y'all always come telling us about world peace. We ain't never invented none of that. What land have we stolen? Huh? What land
I,
have we stolen? Who have we enslaved? Huh?
that is
Huh?
one of my
Who
biggest
have we
problems.
taught our children to be racist? Who have we been blamed, knowing damn well when you say black for decades, since the 80s, we've been having all type of people from all these other places that may look like us, but skin folk ain't kin folk. But y'all tell us, oh, the statistics. Black Americans ain't gonna do hardly no statistics. We don't trust y'all. We want to know why you're in this room. And when you come asking questions in the manner that you did, right? Like you're entitled to tell us to vote for you.
I
I
No, I
think
came for feedback.
I think I think that you should worry about mothering your children. I think that you should be taking them to the library and letting them know about who they are and their lineage and taking them around the other side of the family. Black America, we got our own reparations. It's a debt owed. You forgot to mention segregation. Okay? Because I know my family, they came from Arkansas. It's still
Mm-hmm.
sundown down there. And they in the 1919 was the first war. It was the Red Summer where we were just fed up and they were willing to fight or die. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna leave it there because there's other people that want to talk. But
Thank you so
Okay.
much, Ray.
Wait,
Thank you, dear.
and
Oh, go ahead.
just really
Go ahead.
quick, I'll land on this note. So to answer your question, Ms. Ray Ray, I came here because I had this idea that I wanted to share and I wanted feedback on it. I know that as a leader and as even a person in life, we must have the respect and coordination of our community and the people around us in order to accomplish anything. And so I wanted to present an idea and I wanted to get feedback on it so that I could get some critical feedback, so I could get
Right.
an understanding
Exactly.
of
We
what's
ain't
needed, of
the
what
field.
people's expectations are and what needs to occur for everyone's needs to get met. So
Right.
that's why I came here. And
Got
like I
and
said,
the
I appreciate
feedback,
you.
man, the feedback is we ain't really buying that program. This is another one of these trick bag, keep your eye off the ball, lift all programs that helps everybody and it keeps black people in the same bag. We're going to have to get specific compensation exclusively for us. We were
Okay.
specifically targeted. We were specifically abused, specifically disenfranchised, and we need to be specifically compensated. I don't want another lift all program based on our suffering. So we just need checks written to foundational Black Americans as a form of compensation and compensatory justice. That's all we need. That's going to make everything better. That's going to boost the economy, and that's going to relieve a debt that's been lurking like a dark cloud over this nation for the last couple of 100 years. It has
Mhm.
to be, you understand? So
Okay.
that's where. But thank you so much, Renee. I thank you so much. Family, we got to watch out for that. You got to watch out for that. Man, that was a learning lesson, family. They'll come in, hey, I'm white and I got some mulatto kids, so I'm not like the others. And here's my plan. And your plan is like the others. All right, you saw that she tried to qualify herself with the black kids, which she don't even want to say that they're black. That's a lot of the white women don't never like to admit that the kids are black. They say, well, they're mulatto, they're biracial, they're children of color. They got some black kids. So you'll lead with that, so that you. So I'm not on the white supremacy thing, and then you start talking, and you're on code with the white supremacists. And part of their code is to not give us specific compensation for justice. So it's another con game, and we ain't buying it. Duchess, hop on here.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Thank you for having me.
Yes,
Uh,
indeed. Where you from, Duchess? Where's that accent? Canada? Where's that accent from?
no, my accent is from Armenia. Uh,
Okay. Like Kim Kardashian, yes.
oh, yeah, even though she's like a disgrace for our people.
Uh-oh. Why do y'all look at her as a disgrace?
Well, she doesn't really represent anything our people represent, which is family values, you know, um, you know, um, close husband and wife, and just like for example, like no sex tapes out in public,
Ain't
kind of
no.
thing.
Okay.
uh, so
So what's on your mind? So what's on your mind?
yeah, I really love your logic. You're a very intelligent man,
Mm-hmm.
and I love what what you're promoting. Obviously, I'm for reparation,
Yeah.
but I really don't like the way you're promoting it. If
How
I'm
how so?
I
What?
feel like you are creating a division. I think there is a healthier way to promote it.
How
But
am I promoting it?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm not I'm not able to do justice to do a debate on this subject with
Not
you.
even a debate. You made a statement, and you're not qualifying what your statement is.
Yeah,
You're not,
because you're very wise, you're very sharp, and I know you're immediately gonna be able to like debunk whatever I'm going to say, you know.
right.
So, I mean, I would love to set up a debate with you and Thomas Sotomayor, if I may, if you are interested. That would be amazing. Eh,
So why would you, as a white person, want to set up a debate with me and another black person? What is that going to? So that's
Because
weird.
I think it would be amazing. Two brilliant minds. I
So
think
why are you trying
because
to hide
it's
behind? No, no,
just
no, because why are you trying to hide some of your suspected racism behind a black person? Now you're playing your
no,
card right.
no, 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 no. This is
Yeah,
not
yeah, 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 yeah. Why are you trying
racism.
to hide your
You,
racism
you.
behind a black
This is
person?
what I don't like about you, Tariq.
No, no,
This is
no, no.
when
Don't try to use
this is
Tommy.
when I
No,
say
no, no, no. Don't try to use Tommy to hide your racism. He's not your slave. That's disrespectful to me and him. You understand? He's not your Sambo slave. Don't try to use another black person to facilitate your racism so you can hide your hand. You understand? So he can say stuff that you can't say because you'll be perceived as a racist. That's very exploitive of him as a
sir,
black
I'm
person, and that's
Armenian.
the problem.
I have no white
That's the
guilt.
no, no, no. That's
I'm
the problem.
Armenian of a third
No,
degree. I
because you
don't
want
have
to
the right.
know you're being no. You want to be exploitive of black people. I'm not going to sit here and bicker back and forth with another black person because of you. It don't work like that, beloved. We don't do that. You should be stand on your own racism, ma'am. Don't try to get some black person. Now, y'all people love doing that. That what's that Colombian woman was up here denigrating Juneteenth, and she used Candace Owens. Well, Candace Owens said that Juneteenth was ratchet, and I think it is too. So you use a black person to hide your racism. That's very exploitive, ma'am. You understand? We got to watch folks like you. That's very cold blooded and exploitive, Duchess. You understand?
This is exactly what I was talking about, Tariq. The divisive part. I was
I
literally
damn
going to
sure do want to
compliment.
divide myself
You
away from anti
immediately
black
get
racism.
into
I
racism.
divide myself from anti
Literally
black racism.
wasn't talking about racism at all.
But
And you
that is
turned it
racist.
into
Trying to
one.
get a black, it's racist trying
No,
to exploit black
no. It
people.
only had to.
Slow down. That's very racist trying to exploit black people. You're trying to exploit black people. And that's very racist. You're trying to pit me up against another black person. No, we're not doing that for you, ma'am. I'm
I'm
not doing
only
that for
trying
you.
to level you to your psychological level. It was psychological level.
What are you saying, ma'am? You're just saying words, Duchess.
I was saying he was at your level logically. He would have been able to handle you logically.
But I don't really sit around debating other black people because we're both victims of white supremacy. So it's absolutely pointless to
Do I
just
look
go in
like
circles.
white supremacy to you, sir?
Yeah, what now?
Do I look like a white supremacy to you, sir?
I don't know. I suspect that you could be, ma'am. I don't know. But if you try to pit black people against each other, it's safe to suspect that you possibly could be, Duchess. You understand? That's very exploitative.
Okay, what
Not
about
a,
if
not
I
a good look.
you to
Go
debate
ahead.
another white person? Is that also like would you consider that racism too?
No, 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 no. Because I like debating white people because they're the ones in power. I love debating them, especially the white supremacists. I love debating.
Amazing. Okay, I have the best person for you then. Can we
Who is
do
that?
that? Actually, you know what's interesting? I had somebody else in mind, but I was afraid to mention him because I thought if I mention him, you're going to call me racist
Who?
because I mentioned him. So I went with the black person. So then I mentioned the black person and you called me racist.
Yeah, because the
What are
only you want
odds?
a black
That's
person.
really funny.
Yeah, because the only reason you want the black person is because the black person is known for just using your talking points because he gets money. And I ain't mad at him. He exploits the white supremacists by using their talking points. That's the only reason why you wanted to use him. You understand? What white person did you have in mind, by the way? What was the white person you had in mind? Go ahead, dear. Unmute your microphone, Duchess. Duchess, unmute your microphone, dear.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Yeah, I can send you a message. I mean, it's not important. It's not
Now, I
like
probably already debated him. So who is it? Who's the white person?
it doesn't matter. The
Oh,
point is like that was like the plot twist. I was afraid to mention a white person, thinking it's gonna
no, you weren't. You weren't.
backfire.
No, you
So
weren't. You
I
weren't.
mentioned
No,
a
you
black
weren't. That's all
person,
cap. You
but
weren't.
that's
You
what ended up
weren't.
backfiring. That's the plot
Right.
twist. That's really funny, actually.
Right. You're right. Yeah, you didn't plan on me. No, you were just using a black person to try to hide racism behind. So we're hip to that game, Duchess. So don't do that. Don't do that. We're hip to it. Any form of white supremacy or suspected white
It was not
supremacy.
white supremacy. I was actually being sensitive towards you people,
No,
you
no,
know?
no, you weren't sensitive to us people. No, you were not. Do you live in California, Duchess? Where do you live?
California, sir.
Glendale? Live in Glendale?
No, sir.
Okay, okay. Just asking. And what was interesting, you're talking about all the family values from the Armenians. Boy, I know a lot of Armenians, and family value is some of the Armenians got some of the biggest scams going on out here. They run all types of scams, and I know you're very well aware of this, aren't you, Duchess?
I
Duchess,
see, Tariq, this is what I'm talking about. You're like this division, your
division.
negativity, like
But
you're
don't.
so
But you.
negative.
How is it
You know,
negative?
is there
Duchess,
anything?
Duchess, Duchess. You know, especially out here in California, y'all be running a gang of scams. That's not negative. What me pointing out what y'all do? Really? That's the negative party. How about all the scams y'all got going on? I'm not even being judgmental
You
because I
know,
used
the,
I
the
used to be
type
I
of
used to hustle.
the
I
type
used to
of
hustle. I
Armenians
used to
that
listen.
I
I used to hustle with a lot of Armenians. These guys had so many intricate scams that were just beyond belief. These guys had so many scams going on. Yeah. And you know that, ma'am. And I'm not saying that. I'm not being negative. I'm just pointing that out, ma'am. Not all of them, but a lot of them did. They had a lot of scams and hustles and a lot of street business going on. Yeah. And you're talking about all of the family values and all of that. Okay. All right. Anyway, Duchess, what else is on your mind? Any last words, Duchess? Turn your microphone on, Duchess.
um no, I mean, honestly, like the kind of Armenians that I socialize with are definitely on a different caliber, but
Mm-hmm.
I also know of the kinds that you're speaking of.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not delusional.
There you get real talk.
Yeah, of
The
course. Yeah.
Armenians be having the hookups.
Hell yeah. Yeah, of course. I know.
No,
Yeah,
you know. You already know. You already know.
obviously. Yeah.
Yes, and
But um listen, the reason I came up is like you're really sharp. You're a good mind. I
mm-hmm.
just wish you would use it in a more positive way.
It's very positive. I
Thank-
look out for my foundational Black American family all the time. I'm very protective of foundational Black Americans. I go out of my way to make sure they are good collectively. So and that's very positive, right? Unmute yourself, Duchess. I don't have you muted, dear.
Well, sir, you say that, but like, do you have any solutions for your community? Like, what
Absolutely.
solutions do you have
Oh,
for your community?
oh, yes, I do. Reparations, reparations, reparations. That's going to be the solution. Let's get these reparations. We're not going to move on the political needle until we get the reparations popping. Reparations for foundational Black Americans, and then we can get this thing cranked up. We can get this economy stimulated. We can get some real compensatory justice happening that needs to happen, right?
So you know that the white people, which you call them, which I don't like to call them white people, I like to call them, European Americans,
Mm-hmm.
because they do come from European background. They don't have power, right? They
Uh-oh.
hold the shots.
Uh-oh.
So whatever,
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Who calls the shots then? Who really calls the shots? Not the
you
white people. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
well, I would say it's the Jews, but out
Oh,
in space. Okay,
there
don't
it
hurt
is.
me,
There it
not
is.
Tariq.
There it is.
Don't
Got it.
hold my words against Tariq. This is not Tariq. This is me.
God.
So whoever's listening, please. Tariq this is not him. Um,
Uh-oh. Here they
but
go. The
you
deflection
know,
game.
like,
This is a deflection. This is all about deflecting.
no, it's not about deflection.
Deflect
You
from
know,
white supremacy. It ain't white supremacy. It's the Jews.
no,
Okay. Then if
no,
if, it,
there's
if the
common
Jews are running
point.
it, why? Okay. Why do Jewish people, so many of them, change their names so they don't sound more Jewish, so they can blend in with white if they're running? White
You
people,
don't
do
believe
white people? Who are the
they,
white people who
their
change
names
their Jewish
become
names?
Irish, Scottish, English, Polish, Russian, Italian, you name it, everything but Jewish. They changed their last name to everything but Jewish. What are you talking about? Come on, man.
You proving my point. You know that, right? You're proving my
Oh,
point.
how?
They changed their names. They changed their names to sound more Anglo-white. And it's not the reverse. That shows you who's running things. If you're running things, you don't have to change your name to blend in. You understand? You feel me? So you just proved my point, ma'am. Anglo white people are not changing their name to Jewish names. So that shows you who's running things. It's run by white supremacists. Yeah? That makes sense, dear? Turn your microphone on, Duchess. I don't have you muted.
Definitely doesn't make sense to me, sir. No
Yes, it
disrespect.
does.
No disrespect.
It
Seriously,
makes
I
sense in the
respect you,
world.
but I definitely don't get this.
Yeah, you get it.
These people have so much money. They can pay. They can change their last name. They can pay to get whatever the fuck they want. You know, they can get. They can pay to get their nose jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The fact that they have to do all of this stuff
They
to be
can
more
look white,
Anglo, that shows you the
European,
white supremacists are running
sound
things.
European, have a European last name, pretend to be white people, but they're
Right.
white
You
at the end.
pretend to be the ones who's running things, and that's the white supremacists, ma'am. You
No,
prove my
honey,
point.
not. You think the
It's
white
back.
supremacists
You just
are
proved it, ma'am. You just proved that it's white supremacy. They're trying to be more like the Anglo whites. That's what white supremacy is all about. The closer proximity you have to Anglo whiteness, you have more stake at being a suspected white supremacist. You see? You just proved that, ma'am. So you're helping my argument. I thank you for that, Duchess. I thank you for that. We brought it back full circle. So I guess this was a learning experience for you, ma'am. All right, Duchess. Let me get you up out of here, dear. Any last words, Duchess?
no, I'm done here.
There
Thank
you go.
you.
Thank you so much. All right. See?
It's the 50th anniversary of hip hop, and we still have a lot of discrepancies as far as the origins of hip hop, a lot of claims, who did what, who was the first. But at the end of the day, we need a definitive story, all right? And that story can only be told by the founders of this culture.
Like everything was being driven and influenced by young, black, American culture.
The roots of hip hop being Jamaican, absolutely false.
And that narrative that hip hop has had 3 founding fathers, which isn't true. Hip hop was created by a number of different people.
I am Coke LaRock, the first MC of hip hop, first cat to pick the mic up.
I introduced rapping to the turntable because when I came with it, nobody in the world was doing it.
My name is legendary King Trixie. So I am the first breakdancer.
I am the grandfather, the godfather of the graffiti culture. I am the first element of hip hop.
My name is MC Sha-Rock. I am a founding member of the MC/rap culture.
They want to come in the mix, they want to say, we started. No, you didn't. What came to be known as hip hop was solely an African-American creation.
If they get the real truth of how it all was created, then so many lies would not be able to be in existence.